What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Broodwar laddercast, and we've got a bit of an old school matchup for you today. Flash versus Stork. And it's a bit of a series with Stork over here in the top right-hand corner, Flash in the top left. These guys have been playing since way back. I think it was 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. Stork, the king of silver, wasn't really able to take a title, an OSL or an MSL, for a really long time. He was second place forever, falling behind players like GG Play, Iris, those old school players who haven't really come back. I guess Iris came back shortly. He had a few games on the ladder, but never really came back to competitive play in the ASL era. But Stork struggled against those guys back in the Kespa era, and eventually, finally, around 2009, came into his own and got his first OSL title. Broke that legacy. It's kind of like a snow figure from the Kespa era. Someone who looked incredibly good, had so many excellent performances, but was never quite able to get a title, and we'll see if Snow can get a title this season. Or are we gonna have another King of Silver? I think we already have one, but it feels like Stork is, or excuse me, Snow is better than he ever has been. Stork, not so much. He is a little bit less so. Hasn't regained that former glory of the Kespa era. Still a decent contender, but can't quite keep up with the pros of the modern day. And although he sometimes does get into ASL, he's rarely going deep, and usually getting knocked out in the round of 24 or the round of 16. And so here he is versus Flash's old rival, somebody who he managed to beat in order to get his title in the OSL era, but eventually did lose out to in 2011 when Flash was continuing to dominate. Flash wasn't able to switch over to Starcraft 2 immediately because he was on contract with Kespa, and with things like on-game net. It's too bad I can't go back and watch older games like that from that era. The problem with it is that On Game Net sent me a cease and desist, or they sent me a copyright strike because I did try to do that one time. It was a long time ago, but I tried to cast some of those old Broodwar games, not like the remastered edits or anything like that, but just the old versions, and yeah, they didn't like that too much. They sent me a message. Copyright struck my videos and said, you know, sorry, we're not going to allow you to cast that. Even though I tried to plead with them. Anyways, it's not a big deal. We've got some Dragoons hitting the front here as Flash sets up his CC here in the natural. Has a Vulture out on the map. Likely we'll see mines get placed behind these Dragoons. First tank is now out. And so this is a dangerous spot for these Dragoons to be in. Ooh, I think we might end up seeing one of these go down. Oh, no, he actually catches it. He sees it. Not quite able to get the shot off, but he should be able to deal with this. Yeah, it's not in the micro that Stork really struggles. Stork is a fantastic player when it comes to micro, and decision making is almost second to none, but it's really his multitasking that suffers. Players like Snow are on a completely different level when it comes to multitasking and macro. You're absolutely able to hang with the best Terran and Zergs in the world, but Stork tends to struggle with those aspects. Now, he's identified that there's a few mines out here in the front, and he's going to be going into a Reaver play in behind this. He does not have an observatory, so he skipped over observatory in order to get this Reaver out as soon as possible. And this is actually working out quite well for Stork. You can see he's got control over his natural, and he's got control over the high ground, which will allow him to take this third. So his third's not going to be slowed down by Flash, and he's going to get this crazy fast Reaver. The Reaver pops out. Going to start an observer now. Second gateway on the way. Back at home, Flash has his second factory coming up. He has a few turrets here and there, but no turrets behind this mineral line, and this is a tough base to defend when it comes to Reaver play. Let's see if this Reaver can get in and stop the turret right now. He'll definitely want to do that. Keep this avenue open for attack later on. First Reaver shot. Let's see how it goes. Oh, it actually gets a very nice hit there on the tank in the mineral line. If he's able to drop, even the Dragoon could finish that off. Repair is happening now, though. So, oh, can he pick up? Not in time. So just the reaction speed there. Not quite as good or good enough to... Can he pick up? Oh, very close. Almost takes a mine hit on that Reaver. But does manage to avoid disaster. Taking another shot here at that supply depot as he grabs his third base. So the third base is coming up. Not critical damage, though, from Flash. And I'm very curious to see how he's going to want to play this one out. He kills his own Marine to open up a little supply. His supply depot slowed down just slightly by that Reaver play, but he compensates here. And we'll see what he wants to do from here. Oh, third CC on location over at this third base. Flash is a little lucky here that his third is in the away position, away from his opponent, which will allow him to take that with a little bit of ease. Has two Goliaths in the main and carriers on the way. So this is what Stork is known for in the modern era. Can't quite keep up with the multitasking, but when carriers are involved, once he gets to a certain critical mass, he's generally pretty competent at taking down even some of the best Terran players in the world. Let's see if he can do it here, because the third base means that Flash is not going to be ready with like a powerful +1 attack or something like that before carriers come online. Instead, he's going to be sitting back and looking to build up possibly to like a +2 timing, which will give Stork quite a bit of opportunity to switch into these carriers. Oh, taking quite a bit of damage on that shuttle. Flying in and losing some HP on that. Two Reavers in that shuttle. He needs those to keep back the Terran player while switching into this carrier attack. Finally, the scanners are coming online just now. Scanners are coming online. So he's cut a lot of corners here. Flash certainly has, in order to get this third base out as expedited as possible. Factories are being added now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factory. There's 8. Going up to 8 factors really quickly. He is going to have a huge amount of forces. And in fact, he hasn't added a starport. So this could actually go pretty well for him. Let's take a look at the scans here. He scans the 2 carriers over in that corner. Big scan there from Flash with his triple comsat. Getting all 3 of those at the same time is pretty good. He may be able to do a massive attack before the carrier number gets out of control. Let's see how it goes, though. The Reavers are out here in the front. They're going to be causing a bit of trouble as Flash tries to push out. 4th base is on the way, center right. Surprised he didn't try to take that a little further away, but I guess, you know, the carriers can come over here and defend a little easier. It's just spreading out more and taking bases further away might make it harder for Flash to push. Like, it's going to be a while before Flash can push all the way to bottom right. But he might be able to hit the natural and the base in the center right at the same time. A couple of good Scarab shots go off, killing quite a few Goliaths, but Honestly, those Reavers got killed way faster than they should have. And that they should have been. And 3 carriers only out here at the front so far. Here, 4 and 5 are on the way. What is happening here? Carrier flying directly into the Dragoons, nearly loses it. Army coming up from the south. Can he actually take this fight? Not a very good spread on these units, but the Reaver coming in from the side is actually doing a lot of work right now. Yeah, that Reaver shot, insane. And so he actually is going to clear all these tanks. You've got to be kidding me. Flash, bit of a blunder here with that engagement. Coming up right along this wall where the carriers have free reign over the high ground. And not targeting down the Reaver on the right-hand side, which got some excellent pot shots off despite not having that critical shuttle to try and help out. He's going to dive on top of these carriers now, going right through the Goliaths here, but he will get a carrier kill. Focusing down the Dragoons after the fact. Generally not the best unit to trade with Dragoons. But this high of number is actually able to do it okay. And getting rid of one of those carriers it's huge. He's down to just 3 carriers now. There should be carrier 4 and another carrier popping out here in just a moment. I'm surprised we don't see that here just yet, but pushing in. Oh, a huge mine connection there, actually. That mine hurting very badly these Dragoons. And in fact, Dragoons staying in range of some of these tanks as well are going to end up going down. Just 3 carriers here at the front. 2 more Reavers pop out. More carriers on the way. 4 in total have arrived at the front now. What's this upgrade here? Not sure. I can't see it. Oh, it's going to be +2. +2 is about to finish up. No +2 upgrade for Flash. That's for sure. He doesn't have plans on getting that upgrade here anytime soon. Here's taking some damage, but GG is called. Flash taps out. Yeah, he can't get the damage done that he needs to shut down Stork. Stork will get to that critical mass of tanks. He's still got the 4 bases established, and Flash has to tap out. Stork taking down Flash in 2025. This was played in October of 2025, guys. We've got more games to go. Let's jump into game number 2. A bit of an upset there. Game number 1, Stork, the Dino Toss, able to take out Flash. Down here in the bottom left now, we're on Dominator. And I thought that the very quick third base was a really good plan from Flash. It just kind of played into the hands of Stork, and you can see even Flash sometimes takes a bad engagement versus Protoss. Certainly was not properly set up or properly targeting during that fight over at the natural, and needed to make something happen with that attack as Stork was just getting out of control. I could have tried to probably could have tried to play that out in a super long game. Like maybe there's a way that Flash could end up winning that game, but it's so hard. It's so hard to take out Stork from that position. He is very good with carriers. Kind of his namesake. It's the thing that keeps him relevant in the current era of Starcraft. It's the thing that allows him to continue to fight PvT. He really can't hang for the most part in the shuttle style meta that's currently going on in TVP. There was a moment where he seemed to be able to do it. Like it seemed like he was catching up. I think the moment that comes to my mind was when he recently, I don't know if it was last season or the season before, took out Mind in the qualifiers of the ASL, and he did it with Shuttle Reaver style, Shuttle High Templar, that sort of double robotics shuttle style that players like Best can pull off really, really well. Their multitasking is just insane, and their macros really, really good. Before then, In the ASL era, Stork really was relying super heavily on carriers, but it seems like he's maybe gone back to that a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what he does here on Dominator. He's poked the natural with a Zealot. His Dragoon is on the way in just a moment, but there will be a Vulture and 4 Marines, plus an SCV to try and bully this back, and generally that is enough to deal with this initial bit of aggression. Let's see how it goes. Shaving off the shields here with the concussion grenade. Doesn't deal much damage to the hull of these big chunky Dragoons, but does full damage to shields. He pushes that back and gets rid of the Zealot at the cost of just 1 Marine. Not too bad. Second Dragoon arrives, though. Targeting down that first Dragoon, trying to get rid of it as best he can. Staying here on the high ground and just fighting. You can see some missed shots going down for these Dragoons. The Marines are getting low, though. Ooh, is he going to be able to live? He does get 1 Dragoon. 1 Dragoon kill is pretty nice, but losing the Vulture is a bit rough. 1 more Marine is getting made here, and the Dragoon will just sit back and relax. First tank is about to pop out, so you can't get too greedy with this. Gonna send in the high HP Dragoon instead. But a Marine in the bunker will ward that away, most likely. He sees the command center. And Flash sees the entirety of the main base. Bit of back and forth here in the early game, but nothing too significant. The main thing is... Oh, that Dragoon going down is pretty big. The main thing is 2 Dragoons have died. And the earliest Vulture died as well, which is pretty rough. I'm actually surprised to see him go back into Vulture production and mines. A lot of times what we'll see Terran players do if they lose their first Vulture is just make tanks and Marines and try to push. Tanks and Marines, get siege mode and just try to push across the map. Here he's gonna push, but he's gonna have mines as well, and he's gonna have speed behind this, so he's rallying pure Vulture across the map as he initiates this attack. And this is really made possible by the fact that 2 Dragoons were killed early in the game. So there's just not quite enough meat here in the army for Stork, but he did add on a second gateway. So that second gateway early is going to allow him to crank out a few extra units that should help him to hold this attack. Gonna lose another Dragoon here, 2 Dragoons in fact, and his 3rd Dragoon might go down as well. Oh, gotta be careful with that tank. Cannot be losing that tank. He gets the 3rd Dragoon. That is a beautiful kill there, running forward into the mine. Probably not the best plan. He actually took a lot of damage there from that mine. If he targeted it down and then just killed the Marine, I think he would have had much more HP on the Dragoon there, but it's fine. He does manage to live without losing any probes. Just a few Dragoon losses, which can be replaced. However, definitely tempo on the side of Flash at the moment, who runs all the way back home with a 17 HP tank. Can this Reaver start to balance the scales somewhat as it pops out here and the shuttle escorts it across the map? Armory and eBay, of course, from Flash. 3rd base. Moving out to attempt to take that here. Flash has some Vultures in position, which could be brought forward to deal with this, but unfortunately for Flash, he's not going to respond in time. Meanwhile, shuttle heading into the main base. Is he going to be able to deal some damage here? 2 tanks. The turret is in very good position. Oh! Just barely dodged that. Just barely dodged. Nice shot there on the Vulture. At least getting something out of this drop, but not a lot has been done here. That was really close to a complete disaster when the mine connected there on the Reaver. That had done full damage if it hadn't been dodged by jumping up into the shuttle. He could have lost a lot more stuff. Oh my gosh, he does manage to block one vulture going into the main, but 2 vultures arrive and are going to start to deal some probe damage. Here comes a scarab from the shuttle. Going to try to utilize that to shut down this aggression. Looks like he's done a reasonable job of it. This should connect. Oh, not quite. Not quite getting the damage that he needed. Still having a hard time clearing this out. Gonna bring the observer forward here now. Go ahead and deal with that. Only 1 kill for this vulture run by. I would say pretty well defended by Stork, honestly. Very good handling of a difficult situation here. You really do need to keep something in that gap, but for someone who allowed vultures to slip by into the main, he certainly handled it well. Took very little damage. Look at this third base again. Really quick third base from Flash, who just not respecting the Reaver play of Stork, and for good reason. I mean, he's been able to handle it with flying colors thus far, preventing Stork from getting any damage done. And this third base, it's just gonna propel Flash so much further ahead if he manages to get it up unscathed, and it looks like he most likely will. More gateways are finishing up here. Is there going to be some sort of a carrier transition again? It's not looking that way. I don't think that's what we're going to see. Much more likely that a second robo would be added. More shuttles popping out. And that should be interesting this game. Let's see what Stork can do with this style of play in the modern era. Ooh, drop into the main base. Full Reavers here. Some Zealots as well. Taking one more shot there. Does lose 1 Reaver. Trades it out for some Goliaths. Not the worst in the world. But Flash holding this attack once again with flying colors. Making it look very hard to get any damage on this map. However, this main base is really hard to cover. There's so much space here. And if the Reaver player happens to slip past your bunker and get back here into the back line, it's so hard to deal with. In fact, it would have been nice for Stork had he flown through, gone to the back area with the original drop. When he first dropped here into the main base, not with the second one. Might have been a good idea to get back there, but it's not relevant anymore. Now it's time for mass gateways. Huge gateway explosion. Photon cannon on the high ground. That's like a... It's like an AI move, honestly. That's a Starcraft AI move. I think I've seen AI players build a cannon like that before. For sure. Just joking, guys. I mean, maybe this helps out a little bit with the potential of vultures running up onto that high ground. It'll definitely give them vision there anyway. So maybe that's the reason why that gets thrown down there. Reavers are being juggled back this time, doing a bit of a better job pulling those back slowly but surely. Both the Reavers super low on HP though, and so it'll be hard to stop this attack. Army coming along the pizza slices, making its way closer and closer to that natural. Where are all the Zealots? Looks like they're in the production tab right now. High Templars, Storm about to finish. Army is going to counter attack. Coming around the side. Just gonna go directly up onto that high ground. And yeah, they found the gap. The gap in the defense here, it seems. Dropping Zealots on top of the forward tanks. Very nice Reaver shot there. Dragons up on high ground as well. Just kind of forcing a bad trade out of all of these guys. Oh, only got one Zealot out of the shuttle there. That's really, really tough. Getting one Zealot out of the shuttle means that this attack is going to be very hard to hold. He's got another shuttle. We try to drop some storms. Big storms here, hitting quite a few of these tanks. Getting rid of a lot of that firepower. Just a total of 5 tanks left over. And if he has another round of Zealots coming out here, I think he might be able to break that. Dragon Zealot over here in the top left. Tanks shoving forward little by little, just making small gains here and there. Zealots are going to push forward to try and buy time for the High Templar to get their storms, but not getting the greatest storms here. Are going to be driven back. Now out of energy. And running out of time. Can Stork make something happen with this? A cannon on high ground. Not gonna last too long. Just one cannon in this mineral line, by the way. 2 Reavers go around the outside. 2 Reavers around the outside. And Flash is not quite reacting to this. Gonna end up losing a tank there. A lot of probes going down at the 4th base, though. 5th base is up and mining, however. High Templar does not quite have storm energy. And there are mines here. Ooh, my gosh. Some of these mines are brutal. Just gonna run right through the defensive position here, trying to get on top of these tanks. Tanks are in a great spot on the other side of this wall. Really hard to get on top of that, by the way. Still have those Reavers. He does, but he's not making use of them right now. The defensive position is a little bit too good for Flash, and those Reavers are too low. Most of the tanks have been dealt with. Just a couple here on the left-hand side, and whatever's rallying across the map. Dragoons and Zealots trying to fight against this overwhelming force of Vultures at the natural for the moment. +2 has not begun yet. Still waiting on that science facility, but he's right in front of the natural now, bearing down on the rally point from Stork. Stork, I mean, he needs to make a move. Oh, I think he might have lost the shuttle. I'll picture that. Something happened with that shuttle. The Reavers definitely went down. And so the options are running low for Stork at the moment. He should have another shuttle popping out in a moment. He does have shuttle. Can try to send it over here to the top right. We'll see if he can stop this attack from coming in and destroying this base, which is in a bit of trouble right now as the cannons begin to go down. There's still 2 cannons on the top side of this Nexus, but as soon as that falls, then he's gonna have free reign. Ooh, storms his own probes there. Pretty rough for Stork, who's trying to get a couple last storms here. There goes the cannons. All the cannons have fallen, so all the probes will die as well. Did he pick up probes? He did. 2 probes get picked up into that shuttle. High Templars here need to cast their storms. Oh my goodness. Last second storm does not go very well for Stork, and so he's lost so many probes at this point. Very hard to see him coming back in this game now. Flash is closing in on a victory. Zealots here in the natural. Definitely have the upgraded advantage with just the 1-1. Ooh, that was a great mine. Holy. Getting some excellent mine connections there. Dragoons trying to run back. Oh, God. Oh. Mines are doing a fantastic job. Observer just on a coffee break over to the side there. So many Dragoons are dying. We're really seeing the lack of multitasking from Stork and the reason why he hasn't been successful lately in Broodwar in the ASL. He really does struggle with these type of fights at dealing with all the different things that Protoss has to do to win against a Terran. When they're able to keep up this level of multitasking, it's certainly not easy. Dark Templar over here gonna try and shut down this base. And looks like the Dragoons will fall as well. High Templar dropped out, getting some storms on, but tanks have arrived. As resupplied this 5th base with some probes. 4th base is completely gone at this point. +2/+2 is nearing completion. Big power spike from Flash coming up. Who's sitting now on 4 bases, about to be 5. Really do need to keep ahead of the Terran player on overall bases. But Stork is having a hard time just staying alive for the moment. We're at a brief moment of calm here in the game. So I want to remind you guys to come and check out my stream. We've been playing a lot of Broodwar. We've also been playing Subnautica and other games as well. It's on Twitch at SCSL on Twitch. The struggle is real, but we're slowly grinding it up. We're at about 1900 right now. Today was a pretty brutal day of Broodwar, to be honest. Had a lot of losses in a row. So come check out the struggle. Anyways, pushing through the middle of the map, very light-esque way to approach this map. I like it. Gonna get some tanks in these little corners and just make it almost impossible to break through. Dragoons on these peripheries. Just look at how hard it is to get things to path on this map once the Terran is set up in the center. So tough. So tough. And so Stork, I think, is gonna have one last hurrah. Maybe try to go for a counter. Just go directly this way and go straight through to the natural. That may be the move at a time like this. Try to just go around the army as best he can. And hopefully Flash not able to react in time, not able to bring his army back in time. Storm's here for the high ground. Not bad, but Zealots have pretty much dried out. It's just pure High Templar and Dragoons at this point. Dragoons on the top side are gonna die. High Templar here in the middle are gonna die. EMP goes down on the rest of the High Templar, so they can't even get the value that they should be able to. And look at that supply differential. It should be Stork tapping out here in just a moment as his last few units bite the dust. So many great mine connections in this game so far, and I guess Stork gonna hang on for just a little bit longer. His upgrades have fallen behind, though, with 2-2 completed and an army advantage. I find it hard to imagine a circumstance where Flash winds up losing this game. There's no carrier play. There's no hidden tech from Stork. He's just got a whole bunch of Zealots that are going to ram their way into this Terran mech. And GG will have to be called. There it is. Stork taps out. The Dino Toss has been defeated. But the score is 1-1. 1-1 between these two titans of the past. Flash still an absolute titan, but he hasn't come back to the ASL recently. We're hoping to see him in the next season. Hopefully Stork will be there as well. Maybe make it through the qualifiers again and give us some good games. Anyways, guys, that's it. That's all I've got for you today. Just a couple of games between these old Kespa rivals. Hope you appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting close to 10K. I want to get that final push for 10K by the end of 2025. That would be amazing. So help me if you can to make my way there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.